There it is. There it is, everybody. Hello. Good morning-ish. Yes, good morning to everybody in America. This is the Tellman and Fellman show. I'm not on camera. I'm only half on camera. That is sketchy as F. There he is. It's the Tellman and Fellman show, episode 29. My name's Harris Fellman, and that guy over there is...
I'm Tellman Knutson, and we have a very, very special guest here today. We have Merlin Holmes.
I'm going to do my intro. Ladies and gentlemen, prepare yourselves for the digital showdown of the century. Introducing the masterful marketer, Merlin Holmes, bursting onto the online marketing arena with the prowess of a seasoned champion. I was there, so it's true. Merlin has been creating success in the world of affiliate marketing and entrepreneurship for over 20 years. Over 20 years, about 20 years. He's helped countless individuals unlock this. Sometimes ChatGPT lies. He's helped countless individuals unlock the secrets of generating income online. As a creator of the acclaimed 1K a day fast track program, Merlin is the coach turning rookies into all-star earners. His playbook is packed. That's right, with strategies that guide you straight into the end zone. Look at all these great sports metaphors of digital success. Known for his straightforward approach and results-driven tactics, Merlin doesn't just set the bar, he raises it to new heights. So let's give it up for Merlin Holmes. I added this, the underground MVP of online marketing, showing the world how to score big in the digital arena. I say underground. Welcome, Merlin. Welcome.
Hey, thanks everybody. Thanks, guys. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
I just say underground because you're not as in everybody's face as I was during the after years.
Yeah, you like to keep a low profile, don't you, Merlin?
I do. I always have. I've done a lot of stuff that nobody knows about, that's how I like it. Yeah.
Well, that way less people copy you, basically.
That's true.
Basically.
That's true. No, everybody still copies. They just don't know who they're copying. Yeah.
They just don't know who they're copying, exactly. Yeah. Unless they recognize your voice.
Yeah.
Merlin, why don't we have you tell everybody, how you got started in internet marketing? I know it already, of course, because our paths crossed early, but let's let everyone know where our paths cross and where we crossed with Tellman, and then we'll jump up to more recent times.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds great. Again, happy to be here, guys. And I've known both of you for so long. It's really nice to chat and connect and everything. So I'll take it all the way back and just do a quick little intro. I got started before the internet. I got started in network marketing as a direct sales company that Harris and I actually worked together in, which is how we connected. And this was, about 20 years ago, I think. And we were selling all kinds of stuff over the phone. We were placing newspaper ads, doing all kinds of crazy stuff back then.
Wait, was this the Liberty League?
This was
Harris just mentioned this in yesterday's interview. Yeah,
we weren't neither one of us was in each other's downline either. We were both in Don's downline, I think.
Yeah,
so
that's right. Yeah. So we just I don't know how we even met. I think we just saw each other and had a phone call one day, and that everything worked from there. So yeah, and basically I realized after doing that network marketing stuff that I was pretty good at writing emails and sales copy. And that was really the beginning of me getting online. I had no idea how to code, no idea how to do anything, no idea how to run a business or anything like that. So if I recall, the first money I made, and Harris, correct me if I'm wrong, because you were there, was doing lead gen for that network marketing program, which was all based off of sales copy. So for me, it all started out with sales copy, and that ended up working on the internet. And then Harris and I connected. We created this big, really cool interview series called the 12-Week Intensive. This was way back when. Tellman was involved in it as well, and a big part of the success of that project. And we ran a webinar series, a teleseminar series.
That's right.
For
this is all
12
weeks.
Webinar
for YouTube, pre-streaming video, really online.
Everything. And I wrote the majority of the sales copy and put up the website and wrote the emails. Harris did the interviewing and the networking, and we ended up, I think we ended up grossing that's right, $375,000 in 12 weeks. That's what it was. I remember exactly what it was.
I think it was 187. I think we grossed because I have it. I have it on the sales letter somewhere. I think it was 187,000 is what is in the 12 weeks. But over the course after that, we grossed more because we kept going because we still had a responsive list.
That's really interesting that you guys have two different numbers, though. Is it possible that maybe Merlin, your number is like total sales, and Harris, your
I'm
number is
gross
like
sales, and Harris is net profit? I think that sounds about right. I think it was just under 400 in like total affiliate sales that we ended up doing. Something along those lines, because I do remember that number very specifically.
Yeah, no, you seemed very confident when you delivered that.
Well, I used that. I leveraged that.
And marketers never lie. So
no.
Rich Sheffrin just tried to call me by accident. By the way, let me just see what.
Why don't you reply to him, ask him when he's going to jump on the Tellman and Fellman show?
Does he know about it?
No, I haven't talked to him about it yet.
He was supposed to interview me, I would think, sometime soon for his show, but
maybe that's why he's calling Harris.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Cool. So, Merlin, so after you and Harris did the 12-week intensive, and like from your perspective, what generating a bunch of money, putting over $100,000 in your pocket.
Wait. Can I go back to one thing? Merlin, do you remember any of the failures before that? Like in between Liberty League?
Yeah.
Do you remember? There's two or three that I remember. I want to see what you remember. Well, so before we came up with doing 12-week intensive, and we were like, so we had done Liberty League, and we were like, why are we doing all this work and then not selling online like that? That was like, and I think, you developed I remember a couple of things too. There was a couple of things that you did successfully at the same time as 12-week intensive as well that were pretty cool.
That's right. Let's see. So at the same time, I was getting into more affiliate marketing, and that was started. I was doing review sites. This was way back when, based off of the Rich Jerk program, if anybody remembers that ebook. And I took that and really ran very, very hard with it. And it turned into really a successful business doing review sites. And I did that for, 6 or 7 years, and built a bunch of email lists and made a lot of profit from that. And then Tellman and I don't know if anybody remembers the $1 Million homepage back in the day.
Harris, not Tellman.
No, sorry. Yeah, Harris.
Do you remember the $1 Million homepage, Tellman?
I remember it. Now that you bring it up, I remember all the little pixels and things.
That wasn't us. We didn't do that. We just thought it might have been a trend. So we tried to jump on that as a trend.
We built a version of it, and I think we made some money with it.
We made a couple $1,000 probably.
Bucks, yeah.
And then we also made because everybody was trying to do it, we made like a review site of other $1 Million homepage pages, which
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And we got advertising for that. So
maybe that's the next big thing to bring back.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go with the $1 billion homepage now and see if we can
selling those pixels off. That was weird. That was super weird.
So weird.
That was just somebody got lucky. They came up with an idea.
It was almost like the beginning of an NFT a little bit.
It was real similar to that. It really was. Here's your teeny tiny piece of art, and you can sell it off. And,
your little piece of
and it was also kind of the beginning of virality, honestly, because people found out about this wild idea. They're like, what the hell is this $1 Million homepage? Why the hell would somebody buy pixels on this page? So everybody looked at it, got a bunch of PR, just because it was so fucking weird, honestly. And so that was one of the early online successful intentional viral marketing campaigns, I would say. But yeah, so I got into affiliate marketing very heavily, doing review sites and building email lists, and got really, really good at that, based off of just being good at writing sales copy and running. This was back when AdWords, back when it was still called or even before that, it was Go-To, I think is when I started, before Google AdWords existed. And Harris helped me a lot learning how to run ads. And I would just spend a couple $100 a day running ads on very simple keywords and generate traffic to my review sites. Build the way that I did it was differently than other people. Still to this day, most people run review sites and they just put a bunch of products on there. They're good, but they direct people to the products directly, and they don't acquire any customer or any emails. They don't build email lists. So that was the way that I changed it, was to build an email list at the same time and build that customer base so I could keep selling products to them. And that was really what made my personal business take off after Harris and I finished doing that summit.
Did Rich Jerk not teach the list building aspect of it?
No, not at all.
Yeah, he just would say, go put a review up and then sell the answer to the bad review, basically, right?
Correct. Yeah, just direct people straight over to the sales page of these products, which works as well, but there's no tail to it.
I think it would have been crazy if we didn't do list building then, because we benefited so much from it with 12-week intensive,
This
Absolutely.
is all before retargeting existed.
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, this was just
Facebook may not even existed at this point.
Facebook did not exist.
It might have existed, but it was without ad. There was no ads yet.
Yeah, it was still just running on college campuses, if it existed at all. I wasn't aware of it whatsoever.
Right. So building an email list, was the way to have a follow-up campaign. Right?
Absolutely. And Tellman, we have to give you a lot of credit for that, because you were the list building guy at the time. That was your whole shtick. And with the what was it? The list. What was the name of your List Crusade? Right. Your goal was
the
to
first
build
interview series. Yeah, that was the one that
and you wanted to build 1 million person email list. That was it, right?
That was the hook that worked. That was the hook that finally got people to actually sign on as interviewees. I was like, I'm going to build an email list of 1 million subscribers in 6 months or less. And I'm going to interview all these experts on email marketing and list building and building businesses online and get their advice. Yep. I'm going to implement it and report back to you guys on what's going on. And so I did over 80 interviews, lined it up into an autoresponder sequence. They opted in and then got 2 interviews a week. Right. And at the end of the interviews, we sold their ebooks basically. Right.
No, Tellman, Merlin, when I did the same thing you did. This is difficult when you guys are in the same room. When we first looked at what Tellman was doing with List Crusade, I think we saw it in a different time. We saw it not when he started it. We saw it months after he started it, and we just said, "Oh, he must be doing this. He must be. He must be doing. He must have got everybody to promote it ahead of time to build a list. We just assumed that's what he was doing, but it turned out he didn't really start doing that until later, and that's what he started teaching in Perpetual Marketing Machine. But what he did was just I'm gonna interview people, and I'm gonna attract people to the page, kind of one expert at a time, I guess, right? Yeah. One audience at a time, rather than let me get all 12 audiences onto a massive.
So I guess we did it. We weren't smart enough to understand how you were doing it, but the way that we did it made it happen really, really fast, I think, because we just interviewed it. Before we interviewed it, we had everybody promote, kind of similar to how everybody runs webinars now. I'm going to do a webinar with you. You're going to promote the webinar, back forth, all this stuff. It's interesting to think about. I didn't think about that.
But when you
and
do
then the thing that you and I missed, Merlin, was the thank you page was just okay, thanks.
Yeah.
And we had a few thousand people that had opted in already before Merlin, before Tellman got, oh God, I got to do another name, Mark Joyner on the phone with us. And Mark was like, why don't you put something on that page? Oh, if you don't have anything, I have the viral marketing selling kit or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Did we sell viral marketing chemistry set?
Viral marketing chemistry set.
I have a copy of that in my living room right now.
Yeah, that's what allowed us to generate income before the interviews actually started, and it worked out really, really well.
Yeah.
And that was my introduction personally into affiliate marketing, right? Understanding, okay, we can refer people over to complementary products that people will get benefit from, and everybody wins.
Yeah. What do you think of affiliate marketing today?
It's the same, but very different, right? A lot of people still do it the same as they always have, doing list swaps and email promotions. But with the huge amount of traffic that's available now, and all the different platforms that are out there, there's so many different ways to do affiliate marketing compared to just back in the day, there were a couple ways to do it. You either built an email list and promoted affiliate products to that email list, or you bought media ads and promoted products, which is kind of the same. There's just a lot of other places to buy, either to buy ads or to do social, and to the whole virality thing is much easier to accomplish now. Not easier, but there's more opportunities to achieve that. So it's the same exact thing. You're still referring people to products that'll benefit them. And it's a product that you don't own. There's just a lot of different avenues to go down, but it's still the same stupid easy business model if you understand it.
Yeah. I mean, it's straightforward. It's nice. You don't have to create your own stuff. Well, you do. You have to create your own way of getting them there.
Right.
And I'm always a big proponent of, don't just send people straight to, like, really what you said a moment ago with the review site concept is, don't just send people straight to the affiliate offer. Build a list first, because you're the one that's spending the time and energy on it. So make it your own, mini business.
Harris, you and I were just earlier today, we were on a Zoom, we were talking a little bit about organic content and the phenomena of reaction videos, right? And, creating organic reaction videos. And it kind of makes me curious why affiliate marketers aren't like buying a course, going through it, and then stopping when they have an aha moment and like creating a reaction video, like they're inside whatever membership platform that they're listening to the course or reading the book or whatever, and they stop and like record a little video and turn it into an ad to build their email list and then to sell the product. Like, it seems like a really simple way of creating your own unique content as an affiliate marketer by essentially doing a reaction video to a product or course that you're selling and that you want to just say some good things about. Like, I'm surprised people aren't doing that. It seems like such an easy layup.
Well, who says they're not? Just because you
I
haven't
haven't seen them. I don't see.
You might not be in the exposure cycle for that.
Maybe, I think we're two old guys. That's the problem. Is we're all old, and that type of content is what my kids watch. On YouTube, not what I watch, certainly. So I think there's a different audience out there. There's certainly generational differences here and how people do stuff. So I bet if we followed more of the younger crowd, we'd probably see more of that, honestly.
Yeah. How old are your kids, Merlin?
The youngest is 13. The oldest is almost 21 now.
Uh-huh. Yeah, man. My son just turned 18 and my daughter just turned 13. I didn't realize your kids were, I guess I didn't really compute that you had kids, to be honest.
He married into the oldest one, so
okay, well that helps me. I feel a little bit better now, because I was like, wait a second.
To be fair to you, he when he came to I don't know if you know, but he came with Andrea and I the first time we visited Barcelona, and he was so love sick that he had to go back early to see his fiance or girlfriend, Kat, who became his wife.
Cool.
But she had already had a child, so she's a year older than McKenna. Almost, I mean, pretty close to it. Sounds like, if she's almost 21. When's her birthday?
November. Yeah.
Cool. November. McKenna's is November as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
And then Tellman and I have a son almost identical ages. I just had him, Hudson. And
Harris and I don't have a son together, though. That's like, just for clarity, Harris and I do not have a child together.
That we know of.
That we're aware of.
Anyway, let's get off of the kid. This isn't what people want to hear about. I don't know what people want to hear about. Hopefully they want to hear about your marketing amazement. So what have you done in between?
Merlin's marketing magic. Let's get into it.
He made me take out magic from the he doesn't like that Merlin.
I used the word magic in the description. I just figured I couldn't.
He made me take it out. ChatGPT did it on its own, and then I had to take it out. I do it all the time. I've
spent 44 years, everybody calling me a magician. So every time
But you are, though. You are a marketing magician, though. I would just go with it.
It's fun. Yeah, well.
I mean, I don't, honestly, you could lose your wife. If your wife thinks you're a magician, gone. Trust me.
Not easy.
Trust me on this, Merlin.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. So Merlin's. I don't know if you know this, Tellman, but Merlin's Merlin did stuff for a while in other niches. It wasn't always just IM or BizOp or whatever you want to
I
call
do
it.
know that. I do. Yeah, we've talked on and off throughout the years, but just not. We haven't really stayed consistent about it.
He sold a lot of knives, a lot of survival knives.
A lot of survival stuff, right?
A lot of survival stuff. Yeah, I've actually had probably honestly significantly more success outside of the internet marketing and the make money space than I have within it. Just because the markets are considerably broader.
Why do you think you come back to it?
Because it's to be honest with you, because I like it and it's real easy. It's because it's what I do naturally every single day. So why not talk about it? And creating products around it is fairly simple, and people get a lot of value from it. We get really good feedback from everything that we create, or I say we, but I create. Within that space, So, but yeah, I've done a lot of different things. I did the affiliate marketing for a long time, still do, honestly. Also transitioned into doing, health supplements, health products, had built a business, sold a business in that space.
I helped you sell some vitamin C, I think, at some point.
Yeah, I think so.
You bought some traffic from my traffic company, selling some really, really great copy on. I mean, I'm sure it was more than vitamin C, but it was vitamin, or was it? It was like the hook was like this not multivitamin, but this was whatever, I don't know, supplement. This supplement was tested by the U.S. Army in 1947, and to help their fighters with their vision. And it's like mostly vitamin C.
I was going to say, I one point you were talking about you did a vision supplement.
Yeah, the vision supplement.
This is the same one.
That was a good one. Yeah, that was a pretty successful company actually for a little while. Supplements were good. I discovered that's when I kind of got into physical products more so than digital, and realized that the benefit of physical products from a selling standpoint, it's just easier for people to understand what a physical product is. I'd never done that before, but there's also a lot of headaches and a lot more management logistics involved with physical goods. So
the fulfillment of
10,000 side of things,
10,000 whatever's a month.
Exactly. So there's more headaches. There's a lot more overhead. The margins can be smaller. Profit margins can be smaller just because you're selling physical goods, but also you can, charge more, sell more if you're doing that. So I did a lot in that space. And what else? I've done a fair amount of consulting with some, bigger companies, did a lot of work with the Agoras for a while when they were running really, really strong. And then, a lot of stuff, little projects in between, such as, small partnerships, little affiliate deals. But then I got into once I got out of the supplement space, and the reason I did is because, why did I get out of the supplement space? Well, I sold off most of that company.
Well, I mean, there's risk there, right? If anytime you're like, isn't supplements one of the higher risk?
It is.
I mean, from a governmental standpoint, that if somebody is ingesting something, there's a lot more rules than if they're,
there are absolutely, and there's a lot more hassles and struggle when it comes to the actual merchant processing of things. That's when I really started getting heavily and understanding, credit card processing and things of that nature, and having to really integrate that into how I do business, because that's part of business. But when you're doing affiliate marketing, you're doing internet marketing and stuff, you don't think about it as much. So
by the way, we on that note, just so that I don't forget, we interviewed Sean Casey, and he has a payment processing related, you know about it?
I do. Their load balancing situation that
it seems like a little more than load balancing, but I think that would be
it's some AI. I don't know all the details on it.
I don't know if he said anything about AI, but sure.
Right. It's all about
how could he not say something about AI? Everything's AI, right?
That's right. So I did
Yeah.
The supplement stuff was fun. Exited that, and then was kind of wondering what to do next. I've always had an email list of some sort, whether it was an IM based or anything, whatever business I always have a list of some kind. And then I did some networking.
Actually, hold on. Let's step back for a second. Like, that's like, oh, of course you did. For anybody who lives, eats, and breathes with their list, right? But could you just talk about that from your own perspective? Like, Why do you always have an email list of some kind?
For sure.
For you, why is that so important?
So for me, always having an email list, whether that be branded to me, whether that be branded to another company that I've built or a pen name, it doesn't matter, right? Just an email list, a way to contact a lot of people. And you know what they're interested in already, right? I've always had access to a list of some sort that I've built or acquired or something, some way, shape, or form. The reason for that is because I consider an email list to be the biggest safety net that you can have in this business. Everything can fall apart. You can lose absolutely, and it can be the worst possible situation in your business. But if you have access to reach out to, 10,000, 5,000, 100,000, a million people, you have a way to always make money. And that's really, really important to always have a way to make money, because these businesses can be cyclical. They can really do very, very well, and they can crash and burn very, very fast. Quickly. And that's just the way this business is. I mean, every business is like that, but this business more so, because the trends change, the markets change, regulations change, all kinds of things change very rapidly. But if I'm able to send an email or a text or whatever, however I'm able to reach out to these people, and then I can just go back to what's always worked. I can always find an affiliate product out there that will work well, so I can always pay the bills. Is really what it comes down to, and that's what an email list gives you the ability to do, and be able to sleep at night realizing, I do have a way to make money while I'm figuring everything out, and I also have a built-in way to start seeding and scaling whatever project I happen to be working on. I don't have to go and start from scratch every single time I'm working on something.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly how I went from my internet marketing guru business to instantly having a brand new hypnosis business within 2 months. That those doing $1 million a year in revenue is I used my list. Like, right. It was that simple. I used my list and leveraged it in order to just enter an entirely new market. And, so it really is exceptionally powerful. But one thing you said earlier is that you always have had access. And I would challenge that. I would say, it sounds to me like you've always, since you learned about it, made sure you went out and you found a way to build a list or perhaps partner with somebody with a list. Like, right. It's not like these things just fall into your lap. Right.
No, right. Everything that I always do has list building and list acquisition involved, right? If I put out a new product, there's always an opt-in form in front of it. I'm never going to send directly to an order page with a product. If I'm working with a partner or anything, I'm always looking for that angle on how I can either build or leverage somebody else's assets, in that case, an email list, it's always in my mind. And for, at this point, after doing this for so long, it's just instinctual. Yes, you're building an email list. And I've worked with lots of people and trained people and mentored people. And it's shocking to me how few people still remember that. They're like, no, I have a great product. I just want to sell this damn product. And I'm like, yeah, but you can only sell it one time to one person. But if you build this email list, then you can sell, you have that one person, you can sell 20 different things to them over the course of the next year. Yeah. So the two most important things that I've figured out in all this time, that have done everything, that have been the creation of all the success that I've seen, is building email lists and understanding tracking. Those are the two things that have been incredibly powerful and valuable, and have enabled me to go from, build multiple businesses from zero up to, $15, $20 million, some of them, not all of them, multiple times, and exit some of those companies over my career. It's all about building email lists and having really, really good click tracking, sale tracking, all that stuff, so you actually understand what's going on in your business, so that you actually know, if you spend $1, are you making $1? Are you making 80 cents? Are you making $2? Are you making $10? And being able to, that's the only way that you can take any kind of business and scale it effectively and efficiently, is having that full visibility into your business.
Right. Merlin, I have a question for you, just what your opinion is on this. So my feelings on list building and email lists have started to change as the landscape of email marketing has changed, right? Mm-hmm. One of the biggest things that I was very slow, super slow as a dinosaur to adopt is, unfortunately, is just the whole idea of pruning your list much more regularly in order to keep your deliverability high, right? Like I totally sabotaged myself in this area because I had spent so many years just mailing really awesome emails once or twice a day to hundreds of thousands of people and not really having to care about the deliverability aspect. And when it all started hitting, I didn't really clean up my practices the way I should have. And so for me, I experienced the value of my email list go down dramatically. And then I noticed when I mailed my customer list, it didn't go down as dramatically, right? And so I'm curious about your thoughts on building a free opt-in list versus building, and I just went and I looked at your new book. So, I mean, it kind of answers the question, but versus building a low-cost customer list. And is there a big enough multiplier in the customer list to justify not building the opt-in list? If you're building a $7 customer list or a $27 customer list on the front end product and your sales letter converts, and you're able to do so either with affiliates or able to do so with paid media, is that significantly more valuable than just building that opt-in list now that deliverability is so tough? Like what has your experience been with this in the last year or two?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. So I've experienced the same thing. Email deliverability has gone down. It's much harder. It's much more expensive. All the ISPs are much more stringent. Gmail specifically on what you can't deliver to an inbox. So to your question, a customer list is I don't know, anywhere from 50 to 100 times more valuable than an opt-in list. Okay, so but that does not mean that you only focus on acquiring customers. That means that you focus on acquiring everything, which again is why I said, if you're going to put an offer out, if you're going to do anything, you need to have an opt-in in place so that you can then acquire those, what I call partials, people that haven't bought something but have given you their partial data, just not all their data by buying something. And then really what you're doing, if you're selling your product yourself, you're not an affiliate, what you're building is your cart abandonment list, right? Is really what you're building in that case. And that list specifically is incredibly valuable
Still an opt-in list
in order to sell your own products.
Well, let me ask that question. Since you just called it a cart abandonment list, we had somebody on who has technology, and I've sold this technology where you can put a pixel on your web page and you can have a page abandonment list. So you can have 40-50% of the people that did not physically opt in, they just came to your page and you got their email list. I don't know, have you ever done that?
I ran some tests with some technology about a year ago with that exact thing. And that industry is growing. So in my experience with that, it is fairly effective, not highly effective, but fairly effective with e-com shops, such as Shopify stores, things of that nature, people that are looking for one very specific product, solving a very specific problem for a specific person, right? In that case, those, I don't know what you would call them, your page abandoners, then they're more valuable, sending out discounts, sending out coupons, sending out all that stuff to get them to come back and buy what they were already looking at.
Yeah, I tested it with my traffic business, believe it or not, and it's difficult to track specifically for me, but I was able I can see who went from that cart page abandoned list to who eventually bought, and it was worth a few $100 a month that I was paying for it. I just kind of viewed it like a different form of retargeting,
It's true. That's I think that's definitely what it is.
I think you can't view it, it's super important not to view that it's not equal. It's not the same as an opt-in. Right. It's not the same as an active opt-in. It's certainly not the same as a customer, as you said, 50 to 100 times, more valuable.
Right.
And the reason for that is there's been no decision on the part of the opt-in, right? There's been no decision for them to join your email list. There's been no micro decision or major decision for them to say, yeah, I like what this company, this person, whatever is doing. I want to know more. There's no decision in that case.
Well, but they might have clicked on an ad somewhere to get to you. That
correct. So there's a sub micro decision in that case.
Yeah.
Right.
Micro decision.
Yeah. But again, and that's why I've worked with a couple e-com people that have seen a lot more success using that, for a factor of 10 to 20x, because people are already looking for the, the pen or the cell phone or whatever it is, and they're actually in a buying mode, which is why they purchased or clicked the ad in the first place. Whereas when you're doing more persuasion-based marketing, your ad is going to persuade somebody to come to your page, and then it's your job to persuade them to buy your product. They haven't gone through that process, so that follow-up sequence has to be much more extensive. And the value, yes, you can acquire those people for a lot less, 5 or 10 cents compared to the normal $2 to $5 you're going to pay for an opt-in, or the $20 to $200 you're going to pay for a customer if you're buying advertising. But yeah, there's value in it if you structure it correctly.
So Merlin, you mentioned, you used the word partial, which lends itself to like a lot of your offers were CPA. Would you say you put a lot of them on CPA networks, or did you mostly
I've done a fair amount of CPA where, we build an offer, put it on a CPA network. We've done CPA, we've done rev shares, we've done all kinds of different stuff.
You'll have like a low ticket front end, and whatever, say it's $30, and you might even pay more than 30 on a CPA to acquire that.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We run offers now to some extent where, it might be a free product, but we'll pay a CPA or a cost per acquisition of, $20 or $30 for somebody to sign up for something for free, or for $1 even.
But for free, like without a credit card, like not even
always a credit card of some kind. Yeah.
Okay.
Or we'll do a CPL, which is a cost per lead, where we'll go onto a network and say, we'll pay you $2 or $3 for every opt-in that you'll send us. And then we just have, and again, this goes back to knowing your numbers so incredibly well that you are willing to pay that $2 an opt-in, because the value of that opt-in over the course of the next 30, 60, 90 days, and you can actually monetize and profit off of it.
Now, going from market to market, do you think you kind of have the same formula? Same similar funnel going from market to market?
No, I've done a lot of different stuff. One of the things that I've recently had more success with over the last probably 7 or 8 years, honestly, are selling books, book funnels. Those have been really, really successful to some extent, or usually quite successful. That market has shifted slightly because the attention span of the market has shifted to some extent. And if you can target people properly, it works well. But yeah, selling low ticket physical books and or ebooks works really, really well as a way to acquire new customers for, a fairly low price. You're still going to, this is the thing that most people don't understand when I work with, coach people or train people, is that you're still going to end up, you're still not going to be profitable selling your book right off the bat unless you understand how the business model actually works. And I tell people this. I actually had a conversation yesterday with somebody who's fairly successful, and telling him, I talk to people all the time, and my job is to tell people that this business isn't incredibly easy. Right. I know that's the thing people want to know about and want to hear about, is how easy it can be, because there's, low barrier to entry and everything. But it's just like any other business. It's not super easy. There's a lot of risk involved. There's a lot of opportunity for failure. But if you take the time and learn it and do it right, it can be a lot of fun and fairly low stress. And, you can sit here in your home office, just like we all are, and not have to have a big office with a lot of people. And that's, valuable to me, is being able to have the lifestyle that I want, more so than even the big famous, name or anything. I have no interest in that. I just want to be able to have a good lifestyle with my family.
Cool. So these days, how many different niches and markets are you actively working in, and which of them are you actually willing to talk about?
So currently I'm in four different markets, you could say. And yeah, so some of them are fairly successful, some of them are growing, some of them are just consistent and steady. And the one that's been fun but really difficult, honestly, over the last year is in the AI space that we've been working on for the last year. And I say it's the same model that I would always do when I mentioned books. I wrote a book about how to use AI to grow an online business.
Is this a good time to put that link in the?
Sure.
Yeah, let me go ahead and do that. So this is your AI book.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get him to get that up on Warrior for me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's a great book. People really, really like it. And we have It teaches the business model that I've been very successful with over the last 10 years, which is using book funnels, either cheap book funnels, free plus shipping book funnels, whatever it is, different types of books that you can write. But the fact of the matter is, it's really fucking hard to write a book. That's not something that everybody can sit down and do.
Right.
So I developed a strategy that's not anything super special, but it is, to use AI to write books. And this is something that other people know how to do. I have a specific way of doing it. But we also, at the same time, built a real specific piece of software that takes all the work out of using ChatGPT and everything in order to create that content, and is purpose built for creating books like this, which are how-to books, which is,
cool.
The way that I look at it is, how do you solve a specific person for how do you solve a specific problem for a specific person at the exact time they need it? So we created software to build those books, to write those books for people.
Cool.
It takes about 10 minutes and like 2 sentences for somebody to do that. And that business has been fun. It's a hard business though, because,
What's hard
literally, well, AI is you're competing with multi-billion-dollar companies.
Massive competition. Yeah.
Right. Huge competition. So it's hard to get that market penetration.
Yeah, I literally have in 2 of my tabs right now. One of them is create, design, and launch stunning ebooks and reports in 2 minutes without writing a word. And this was, Facebook advertised to me. And you can tell they've got budget. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't just one of our buddies throwing something up. It feels like a startup,
Yeah. So it's not a trend anymore. It's certainly not a fad. It's not a trend.
It's interesting too, because like right now, saying that your stuff is AI powered is novel, right? Still. But it's becoming very quickly less novel because everybody's finding different ways of integrating AI into their products or services. So just saying, hey, I've got an AI powered this or an AI powered that, you're still competing at super high levels.
It's crazy, because I wrote the book roughly a year ago, and at that point, this was breakthrough stuff.
Right.
Amazing. It was incredibly easy to sell and talk about. But even just I've never experienced this before. Even just in the last year, it has become normalized, right? It's really become normalized in the world.
All the wow is like,
yeah. I mean, look, my daughter has a placement at a large corporate, corporate 100 company, it competes with Procter and Gamble, and she's just an intern, but they have like a little, they had a conversation about AI, and they're like, well, if you don't use AI, you're competing against people that do. Like you will lose. Like, you have to use AI, because otherwise,
it depends on it depends on what the constraints are of what you're dealing with, and what but in many cases that's the case. If it's just like based on raw productivity or raw output, then yeah,
Well, that's the thing, is there are very few constraints, right?
Yeah.
You can utilize the technology, if you know how to do it, to do virtually
almost anything. Right.
Yeah. I mean, so far it doesn't tell good jokes yet. I mean, but I'm sure if you input enough of the right stuff, it probably could.
Oh, I'm sure.
The way that I look at it with AI, especially from a content perspective, apart from development and coding, which it's freaking phenomenal at, it'll get you 80% of the way with anything that you need to do. And you just have to be smart enough to have the skills. There's still a fair amount of skill involved, especially when it comes to content and sales copy specifically. I don't care.
Have you used it for coding personally? Do you don't?
Oh yeah, I do.
And then what do? You hand it to somebody else, or what? Like, how do you? Because you're not a coder.
No, well, I am now, apparently.
What have you had it do?
Well, so, I love ClickFunnels, for example. Like, I've been using ClickFunnels since the day it came out, and I just love the ease of it. So I'm the ultimate power user. But there's some things that it has limitations. Like, I need a form to do something very specific. I need some JavaScript to do something very specific. I need it to do something that it's not built to do. So I can go to GPT or any of the AI tools out there and say, here's, and you just have to be able to write out a real specific spec of what you need it to do, and then test it. But it's enabled me, I've saved thousands, tens of thousands in development costs, as well as learned a lot and been able to do things that I wouldn't normally be able to do, where I'd be sitting there researching on Stack Overflow for hours or days to try to find an example of something and then customize it. Whereas now I can just say, hey, I want this to do this and send this data here, or to look like that, or I need this, whatever it is. It's a life changer, honestly, from a development standpoint.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah, I've never tried to do any development with it. That's really good to hear.
Oh, it's great. I would recommend that everybody does. It'll turn you from I don't know shit about this to somebody that actually is really, really good at it really quickly. It's very good at code. And then it's just a matter of testing it. Okay, I'm going to put this up and see if it works. Didn't work. I'm going to tell ChatGPT that this didn't work in this way, and it will reiterate for you and create the new code for you. And then you just take it to that point and keep iterating until it works.
Right. The trick is, it's so interesting. You know what the trick is, I think, is with all of this stuff, and this is not limited to entrepreneurs. It's kind of limited to anyone who wants to be successful at anything. But in the internet marketing entrepreneurial world, like, if you don't have any vision for what you're trying to create, you're kind of fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you do have vision, then you can use the tools or the resources in order to create something awesome. And AI, in many cases, is an incredible tool to do things that are far beyond your own capability and at a far faster rate than you could, even if you were skilled, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
100%.
if you don't have clarity on what you want to create, it doesn't even matter.
Well, that's the thing, is I think with ChatGPT, which is what everybody knows, it's that's what the laymen consider AI, right? And everybody thinks it's just this really cool new version of Google that will give me my answers faster in a more conversational way.
Well, that's true. It is
which
true.
is
It will
which
do
is
that.
what it is, right? But there's so many other aspects to it, and like you were saying, if you understand what you need to accomplish, it can help you. It can shortcut it by 75, 80% if you actually know what you want to do, rather than just having fun with this new tool.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Have you played with? We just learned about this yesterday, but have you played with Notebook LM yet?
I haven't specifically. I've heard about it. I haven't played with it.
Very
Yeah,
interesting.
so it's pretty cool. This one of the outputs that you can do is a very realistic kind of audio podcast. So basically, you put anything that you want into it. So maybe one of your long sales pages, and then you could say make podcast with it, and it'll be a man and a woman talking, and it sounds pretty convincing.
Mm-hmm.
Extremely convincing.
And they'll talk about what's on your sales page, and it sounds a little too good to be true, and we did it for the one that we're working on, and it's I don't know, it
was convincing enough that I didn't want to just put it up on our sales letter without letting people know that it was AI, because I felt it made me feel weird.
But you're okay but if you were to do a JavaScript, you wouldn't say this was created by it. You know what I mean? It's really funny.
It's weird. It's a weird time. Like, we're all getting used to this stuff, and so it's
I've done a lot with
what's not,
a lot with video, AI video, which works really well specifically for ad creation. It shortcuts ad creation down by a factor of 50 at least.
Right. Oh yeah, you're using HeyGen, right?
I do a lot of, we use HeyGen a lot, actually. It's a great tool if you just know how to use it and train it correctly, which doesn't take long. A day of work, less than a day, a couple hours of work, and you've got something that can spit out ads for you in 2 minutes instead of the 2 weeks that it would take to shoot a video and do all that stuff. And we've done it for, voiceovers, all kinds of different stuff. There's just a lot of different ways you can leverage it. If you, again, back to what Tellman said, if you know what you're doing with it and you know what the goal is. If you have an end goal, then it becomes really easy. If I want to create a set of ads, and I know I can use ChatGPT, or I can use anything AI to give me the basics of a script. And then I can go use another AI tool such as HeyGen to take that script, turn it into a video, whether that be a avatar-based video or using my own face within the AI. It just becomes really easy to iterate and test things very, very quickly. And as long as you have, like I said, if you have really good tracking in your businesses, that testing and iteration can become extremely profitable for you.
Well, this brings up something that we all run into a lot, though, as people who are teaching newbies how to make money on the internet. Like, I run into this a lot. I mean, to a point where I ran away from it and decided to do a company that I didn't have to deal with it, right? Which is a lot of people, they want you to give me the steps, and I go put those steps in place and it works guaranteed. And it never does, because not never, it does not always work guaranteed. There's things that you might have done different that we don't realize. You might have picked a shitty market, whatever. But what I've started saying is that people don't have the right amount of, entrepreneurial creativity. They want it to be like told to them, and then, okay, but it didn't work, so I'm going to quit. And it's like, well, no, you just found a way that it didn't work. Now go do something else, or figure out why, or do something creative.
I would say that like entrepreneurial creativity is one solution to the problem, but I don't think it's the only solution.
Okay.
Because being creative is great, but it's not the only way to build a business. As a matter of fact, like I tend to put a lot of creativity in my stuff, and I've found that there are some entrepreneurs that can beat my pants off. Yeah, that can win just by consistently.
You might not even be wearing pants right now.
Yeah, I am wearing pants. Look.
All right. Okay. Nobody beat his pants off.
All right.
I better not stand up.
I'm wearing pants. I have a belt on. I mean, I'm even wearing shoes right now.
And a jacket. Look at you with your
pro over here. But like part of it is like commitment to whatever they're creating is and lack of certainty.
But it's coming back to this, like they don't know what they're creating. Like they just that's what it is. It's like
self-belief and like giving up on themselves before they give them, like, one of the biggest things that people don't get is that you got to freaking practice. You got to build some skills. You got to get in there and like train and write 10 or 20 sales letters before one is probably going to hit. But
if somebody started today, do they have to write 10 or 20 sales letters, or could they have 10 or 20 sales letters written by AI?
Sure. They could absolutely do that. If they knew where they were going and they understood that this might, and I tell people this all the time, it's like, look, man, I don't care how good the program is, the training, the system, the whatever it is, can you commit to this for the next 2 years?
Right.
To make this happen for yourself. And if you can't, then you should not start. I don't care how much you're going to spend. I did some consulting for this guy. He was paying me 10 grand a month, not just for a single guy, 10 grand a month. And then after 3 months, he's like, well, it didn't work. It didn't work. I said, well, okay, that's fine. Whatever. But if you're not going to keep doing this for another 18 to 24 months from now that you understand how it works.
A chance to see it work.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if you do, it's going to probably be short-lived. And then it's not going to work, and you're going to figure it out again.
That is one of the problems with people relying on AI. I do admit is that it makes it too easy, right? Or it seems too easy. You have to understand the fundamentals. So, like in this product that I created, the book and the product and whatnot, it's all about teaching the fundamentals and then how you can use AI to make the actual work easier. Right. But if you don't understand the fundamentals, the strategy behind everything that you need to be doing, then it doesn't fucking matter how good you are.
Very good editor, right? You can't be a very good editor of the AI if it's just like pre-AI.
You teach them to sell more than the book, like it's so.
Yeah. We talk about here's how you say, write a book, sell a book, write a course, create a course, how to use AI to do all that stuff or help you do all that stuff. Yeah. How to create courses, how to create audiobooks, all that other kind of stuff. How to create a sales funnel, an ascension funnel, so that you can, sell a $3 or $5 book, then, end up profiting $50 for every acquisition that you have, all the typical stuff. And those are the strategies that people really need to understand, not just, hey, here's a link that I need to send traffic to. That's not how you build a business. There's a lot of different aspects to it. It comes down to, okay, we were talking about emails and cart abandonment and all those different things that are so important in order for you to have a productive and profitable business. There's a lot to it. And for guys like us that have been doing it for 20 plus years, it's really second nature. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to put up a new project. Here's my general list, which I don't even have to write down anymore because I've done it 50, 60, 75 times, whatever it is, and of those 100 times that I've done this, 90 of them have been total fucking failures and 10 of them have been huge successes. Right. So I know I'm going to be able to do this in the next, I get out my little notebook and I write my to-do list down and I check off all my pieces and then I see if it works. And if it doesn't, then I just do it again. But there's
try to learn something.
Always try to learn something.
Merlin, your camera's in the middle of your monitor, isn't it?
Yeah, I have this fancy teleprompter set up right up here. So I'm actually, you guys are on a mirrored system so I can look directly at you while I'm
Yeah,
talking.
yeah, I can tell. I can
Yeah.
tell. I mean, I'm not doing it as well. I've got my iPhone is like on a thing, so I could probably this would probably this probably replicates what you're doing pretty
Almost.
closely, but yeah,
Yeah.
almost. But that's cool.
Yeah, I was happy with this. You know, it's $200 well spent to get this set
That's
up.
not bad. That's pretty good. Pretty good setup. Nice. Well, we're getting close to the top of the hour. Well, not the top of the hour, but our hour being up. Is there anything that first of all, is there anything you want to just share about your kind of journey and what I'd like to know, like, so you said no when I said are the funnels all pretty similar? You said no, but is there something that you carry? What is the foundation? I guess, yeah, that's what it is. So what is the foundation between
What are some of your core life lessons of
so you said having an email list and tracking?
Yeah,
So
so it's the core, the most important thing that you can ever do is have a product to market match. If you don't have that, nothing else matters. I've built some really amazing products that the market didn't give a shit about. Great products. And it could be that I didn't do enough work to find the right market, to find the right email list, to find the right ads, or whatever it is. There's usually a way you can do this, but that takes time, energy, and resources to make that happen. So know who your market is before you build the product, right? That's the most important thing that you can do. You do the research. You do the research. You see what other people are selling effectively, how they're selling it, into what marketplaces they're selling it, and then you say, okay, I'm gonna do this too. I'm gonna create a version of this in my own fancy way or dumb way or whatever it is. But it's all about
Counterintuitive way.
Yeah, find the market first and then build your way into it. Don't build the product and then try to find the market.
I don't know if you agree on this, Merlin, because you have gone into some weird niches, but I really think that one of the best ways to know your market is to have genuine love for the market and the types of products and services that move through the market and to be part of it, right?
No,
it's not the only way. That's what I'm saying. You've clearly done that without it, but like,
yeah, but what happens when you hate the market, Merlin?
Well, then you don't last in the business all that long. Like,
exactly.
right? I've been in markets where I don't especially like the market, but I can sell products really effectively in it. And at that point, it just becomes, okay, how fast and how big can I build this? And then I can exit the shit, and then I can sell this. And that's cool. That's a great way to do it. You know, it's a good strategy. You know, you can commit 5 years to something, build something that has value, make a bunch of money while you're doing it, and then find somebody that either, you know, sell to a much larger company that's going to acquire it and bundle it up and roll it into their existing thing, or find somebody that actually has an interest in that marketplace.
Yeah.
And but this goes back.
I mean, and tell me, like considering that though, like Merlin started down this road in his early 20s. You know, he didn't have any other marketing was his interest, really. I mean, at the end of the day, like, you know, finding a way to do, you know, make money was what became his
hours that you're spending, right?
Yeah. So like, I mean, yeah, that's what I like. I'm like, what would it be, Merlin, if there was like a market that you love, other than but marketing you do like? That's the answer to why you keep coming back to it. That was your answer.
I like the building of businesses. I like building businesses in this way, and direct response businesses are, for me, I would say, sure, fun, but you know, it's what I know how to do. And I'm not going to go and build a construction company. I would be real shit at that, you know. All right, this is the business that I know and I've been doing for my almost entire adult life, so I know it inside and out. And I can deploy it in any kind of market, any kind of vertical, any type of product. It doesn't matter. I can consult with any kind of company and tell them how to implement these type of tactics to generate more business, more revenue, more profits. It doesn't really matter. It's not about, for me, and I tell people this all the time, and I'm get really aggressive about it sometimes. It's not about, are you passionate about your product? Are you passionate about your marketplace? I could give two shits less, to be honest with you. It's about, is this going to create a successful business for me? Because business is about, I mean, honestly, business is about making money. A lot of people think business is about changing lives or changing the world. That's just not the way that I see it. I see it as this is the way for me to live the life that I want, for me to provide for the people that I care about, to hire people and create jobs for those people. It's not about being passionate about the product, being passionate about the marketplace for me. And maybe I'm an ass. I don't really know.
I mean, there's lots of different personalities out there, clearly, right? And
I mean, I'm always jealous of that personality trait of like, I'm happy just making money and figuring out how to make more money. Because I have I have a little bit of that, but then I reach, whatever, 20,000 a month or whatever. And then I'm just like, I'm good. Like, and I don't do it on purpose. It just ends up happening naturally. And I relax and find other things to do with my time, whether it's travel or become a magician or whatever,
I tend to have like lots and lots of interests that go all over the place, and some of them have stuck and turned into lifelong interests and passions, and others have not. But for the love of God, I can't focus on a business for 6 months if I don't personally really care about it outside of the money. Like, I just don't have that type of. I'm very impressed with your like long-term vision and your long-term commitment to yourself and your business projects. And it makes me
but he's also said that he's managed to sell businesses as well with that mentality.
It's true. It's really great. How do you keep yourself motivated, consistent, determined, and working on a business or a product in a market or niche where you don't really care that much about the topic
but he cares about the business?
Is it just as simple as building the business and selling it? It's like that get you up in the morning? Like,
I care about the business. It's fun. I really enjoy growing and trying to improve. It's not about beating myself or beating somebody else. I just always want the business as an entity to work better because it's like, it is. I have pride in the business built.
Like, that's kind of like raising a child, though, in that way, right? Like, there's a similar.
Yeah, and you don't, but you like everything your child does.
No, I definitely don't like everything my child does.
I do. I totally do. She could probably hear me right now. So
yeah, but I like the activity of building businesses.
Yeah,
that's what I really, really enjoy it. It's super challenging. It's super stressful. It's super hard, but it
does require creativity. It's a different type of art, It
absolutely is. Yeah, it absolutely is, and it's really, really hard, and it's really fulfilling and rewarding when it's successful. And in whatever way that may be, whether that be delivering a result to somebody, whether that be giving a good product to somebody, whether that just be just having a successful business is very gratifying for me.
Yeah.
And Merlin, are you like, I don't really have any idea how your business and or team is structured. Like, are you a one-man show? Do you have a bunch of freelancers? Do you have a bunch of people on salary? Are you involved with like 3 or 4 partnerships where everybody else is managing the team and you're coming up with ideas and writing copy? Like, what's the story?
So I manage, and I have contractors that work for me, but I also have partners who either have their own companies or their own contractors or whatever. So I have the kind of a core group that I work with within my own contracting scenario, and that fluctuates up and down, 5 to 8 people probably, that usually help me with projects, whether that be from a customer service, development, technical side. But I usually have the same core group of people that I move from one project to the next. And then if I have a business partner and they have their own team, but it's all virtual. I've never had an office or anything like that. So the people that I work with know how I do business. They've worked for me for 5 to 12, 15 years. And they know how I do stuff. So they're really easy to transplant into new projects.
Cool.
Yep.
Cool. Well, where we threw your link to your book up here. People can go check it out at aiprofitblueprint.com/new-book. And Harris, could you, or actually I'll do this. I'll throw it into the chat too, just to
oh yeah, my chat's only on my chat. Well, anyway, Merlin, thanks a lot for coming on. I hope you had a good time. It was cool catching up with you, and I still want to get that blueprint on Warrior.
Yeah,
Maybe I can just do it. Just give me a page. I'll put it up.
sure, go for it.
Cool. So, yeah, where do you have your sights set in the not too distant future, Merlin? Are you just focused on selling your AI stuff and book, or do you have anything new and exciting on your immediate horizons?
Oh, well, I got lots of stuff going on, new and exciting. I don't know. I'm always working on 3 or 4 different businesses, totally disparate, separate businesses at the same time, depending on which one takes off. And then I'll focus exclusively on that one for the next 5 or 6 years. So it's all a matter of sorting, finding, failing, and then finding what's going to work.
So you're in that process right now.
Yeah, I have some things that are doing very well, some things that are doing okay, some things that are on the verge of being shut down. And it's just a matter of finding what's going to be the next, 10 or $15 million opportunity that I can play around with for the next 5 years. And maybe that'll be the last one I do. Who knows? We'll see.
That's right.
Oh,
cool. Merlin, this was awesome. Thanks so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. It's good to reconnect. Good to catch up.
Good to see you, man.
Likewise. Yeah, I'd love to talk soon.
For sure.
Awesome. Thanks, Harris. Thanks, Merlin.
Thank you, audience. Thank you, all 7 of you. But we get hundreds of people to watch during the course of the day, so the live stream part doesn't matter so much. But we get a bunch of people to watch during the course of the day. It was really good catching up with you. Thanks everybody for watching, and thanks for being here. Bye.
That's right. Over and out. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.